Hey folks, and welcome back to Cassie Elle Talks. I am still doing games for our month of December that we're in right now. So for the next holiday game that I'm going to share with you, it is Secret Santa by Osprey Games. Secret Santa is a little different than what I usually would play because it is like 30-minute to 60-minute game. Which is a little longer than I usually play. I usually play games that last like a max of 30 minutes. That's one difference. And the other one is I usually pick up games that are like 2 to 4 players, and this game is actually 4 to 8 players. So it's a little different, but it still comes in the same kind of size box that I would prefer. It is a very cute new winter theme, holiday themed game, and I am going to share it with you right now for our second game of the month, Secret Santa by Osprey Games. Okay everyone, here is Secret Santa by Osprey Games. Check out our box lid, and then here's the box base. And then all of the cards come with this kind of like a matte finish. I don't know if you can tell in the video, but these are not really glossy. And because of this matte finish and the quality of these cards, you wouldn't really need to sleeve these. And there's really not that much shuffling going on in the game anyway, so I wouldn't think you would need to. But if you did choose to do so, you probably wouldn't be able to get them to fit. So just letting you know about that. So Secret Santa. The goal of Secret Santa is to be the first person to give away all of your cards. And the way that you do that is you start with the first player, and they choose an X number of cards from their hand at a certain number. And so what I mean by that is, so you've got your hand here of cards, blah, blah, blah. So we have a hand here, so you would choose number 2 cards. So you have placed 2 number 2 cards. And then the next person would have to play 2 cards, because that's how many cards you've played, but they have to be a number greater than the number you played. So the next person could play 2 3s, or even they could skip 3 and go to 2 4s, 2 5s, as high as up that they want to go. When you get higher numbers, you're going to find that there are going to be less of them. So there's, I believe, 12 number 1 cards and maybe 1 number 12 card, something like that. So you're going to want to get rid of your cards first. And, I'm sorry, you're going to want to get rid of the lower cards first, because you have so many of them. And so, the way the game plays is this deck is shuffled out entirely to everybody, and then the first person to get rid of all of their cards gets 4 points. The next person to get rid of all of their cards gets 3 points, so on until the last person would get, I believe it's 1 or 0 points, something like that. And the thing about the game is, this is a lot of cards, so you deal this entire deck out to everybody, which is a lot of cards for a person to hold in their hand. And in addition to having that, there's other cards that have these weird little symbols on them, and these symbols do special things. And the thing about the cards with the special symbols is, when I was playing it, here's one. The art is awesome on these cards. I love the border, how it has, like, I don't know if you can tell, it's little Christmas trees around the border, and the back has the little tag. It's a really cute game. Anyway, so going back to these symbols, here's one, and then here's another symbol. And when you get a card that has a symbol, it has a special ability. And the only problem with the game is that there's no, like, I guess, little cheat cards, how some games have little cheat cards. So, and there's no text on the cards. So if you want to find out what your card does, you have the whole group of people flipping around through this book trying to figure out what their card's special ability is. And then in addition to that, we have the score sheet. And the score sheet's really cool. It comes with a lot of pieces of paper. And because the game lasts for so long, this will, probably last you a good amount of time. So the way the rounds work is you keep going. So I start the game with my hand of cards here, and I play 2 2s. Next player would play 2 3s. Next player decides to skip everybody and go all the way up to 2 8s. And then the next player doesn't have anything higher than 8, so they have to pass. It goes back to me. If I have anything that's higher than 2 8s, I can play them. Let's see if I do. I'm just pretending this is my hand. I don't think I have anything higher than 2 8s. I have 1 9, and then I have 1 10, but because in this round we are starting with 2 amount of cards, I can't play either of those. So I would also have to pass. the last person standing in the round will be the next person to start the next round. And there's an advantage to being the first player with the ability to play cards. You can choose how many you're going to start the round with. So if you have a lot of cards in triplets and you want to get rid of them, you start the round with 3 cards. That way when it gets back to you, you have 3 cards and then you can play them and get rid of them. But the game lasts a long time because you run out of... Once everybody's run out of their cards, which is essentially this whole deck, that's when you score points. Then you play again. And so the game can last a really long time, and the rulebook doesn't actually say anything about having the game last any certain number of rounds. It just says at the end of the evening, whoever has the most points wins. So that's basically it. It's a really cute game, and if you're down to sit around and play a game for a little while, by all means go for it. But I am not one of those that likes long games, so this wasn't one of my super favorites, but it is definitely a game that I will want to play with people because I just love these cards. I love this box. So that's Secret Santa by Osprey Games. So that was Secret Santa. If you want to see any more of my videos, feel free to check me out on YouTube. You can also find my website, CassieElle.com, where I have a lot of blog reviews and also links to some of my other YouTube videos. And you can also find my Waffle Boat podcast on there. I am going to be doing some more holiday games coming up this month, so stay tuned and I will see you next time. That's Cassie Elle Talks with Osprey Games, Secret Santa.
That's Waffle Boat.